Hey YouTube, Rick Marks here. I wanted to today look at coaching versus mentoring and what the differences are, because I think in general people tend to misunderstand, I guess, the purpose of each role and what is the difference. So typically coaches are objectively there to help you reach your goals. And so whether that be a business coach, a life coach, a sporting coach, if you breaking it down those sections, they don't necessarily have to have traveled the road you're traveling, but they can objectively look at it, and they're, I guess, a thinker or a strategist is how they view it. So you go to them and this is the end goal that I want to achieve, and then they can go, well, this is what you're going to need to probably apply in order for you to get the outcome that you're looking for. So they're quite strategic in thinking, whereas mentors help you from their experience that they've had. So you would find somebody in your industry, or you can have a mentor in your sporting team that has made it to the Olympics, and that might be a career goal for you, that you want to make it to the Olympics. So you shadow them and you learn from them how they've done it, how they do things to skill yourself up. So you're learning from them directly, as opposed to them objectively looking at your so they're generally somebody who's traveled the road you're traveling, or they may not now be doing that, and they might have now become a coach, but they were once Australia's, or whatever country's best at whatever, and you're wanting them to mentor. So that's that difference when you're asking somebody to mentor you versus somebody to help coach you. Coaches are directly assisting to objectively achieve the goal or the goals that you want to set. So whether that be that you're wanting your business to increase revenue, whether you want your profits to go up, whether you want more customers coming in, whether you wanted to work out a different strategy, whether you want to break a new market, a coach is able to come in and look at it objectively with you, and as well, because they're not in the forest, they're out of the forest, they can see a path forward of how you could achieve the goal you want. Because it's often hard for us to coach ourselves, and this is why quite often when you look at a lot of successful business people, they have coaches. Richard Branson, Bill Gates, they all often will have a coach, because they are objectively looking at the scenario from outside of what they're wanting to achieve, whether that is developing a new technology, etc., etc. They can see hurdles, they can see milestones, they can help you to forecast, whereas generally a mentor might not be in that same position. A mentor is going to be talking about past experiences that they've learned and helping you to grow from that. Coaches will map out a path for you to achieve the goals using resources and tools. This is generally what within Ultimate Marks, that's what I look to do for people, is to help them not as a mentor but as a coach, to help people to achieve their dreams, to achieve their greatness. I've talked about it in numerous videos where success is only in the eye of the beholder. Only you know what success looks like for you. For some people that can be having a big business, for some that can be just having time for their family and have their finances sorted. All these things can be mapped out depending on what your goal and what your end game is. So one of the first things that Ultimate Marks we do is we work out what the end goal looks like, and then we draft back from that. My daughter lately started doing a lot of drawing and helping her to understand, work out what the finished product looks like. So if you're drawing a picture of, say, Elsa from Frozen, get that finished picture that you're wanting to replicate or that you're trying to do, and then work back. See the process in how you're going to achieve that end picture. And that's no different with coaching, is we work out what you see the finished product looks like, and then we work out how do we achieve that, and we break it down into those small pieces on how you're going to get there, and realistically what is attainable in a time frame. that's the biggest part, is keeping it realistic. Often we go, we set these huge goals and then we get defeated. We feel deflated because we are not achieving that goal, yet realistically the time frame we'd put to it isn't realistic. So that's sort of the main differences between a coach and a mentor. As a coach, I am not there to be a best friend to my clients. I am there to help them to achieve their goals and to achieve what they want. And sometimes that is having the tough talk. Sometimes that is also rejoicing the wins. But the biggest thing is, don't have high expectations on yourself when you start out. And I think that's huge, because a lot of people expect that they're going to overnight achieve their goal. Now, depending on the scale or the size of the goal and all the components in it, it's unlikely. But if you give yourself a year, if you give yourself 18 months and you actually run it like a project, as a project manager, set your milestones, set those positions where it's like, that's a win, we're tracking right, and keep taking a breath and realizing it's like saving money. It's not instant wealth, but you need to be tracking. You need to be doing something today, because if you're not starting today, the next best time is, if you thought about it 12 months ago to be where you wanted to be today, 12 months later, the next best time to start is today. I know that a lot of people have fears when they're going into business, and I've talked about this before in regards to the people who love us the most fear us failing and fear hurt and pain, and they want to prevent that. And that's where often our loved ones, the ones that say don't go into business, don't do it, they fail, or the success rate's so low, they use a lot of negative talk. And negative talk is not what coaching is all about. And coaching is also not about being blind, but it's also about going, there are real risks. Look, you get out of bed in the morning and there's a risk. There's a risk that, you get hit by a bus. There's constant risk, but we either don't assess it and look at it in that same way. All risk needs to be managed. And if you can't manage it, and this is that OH&S in Australia, if you can't eliminate it, and you can't eliminate risk, then you got to then go through the process. What can you put in place? So if you're starting a small business, for instance, and you're worried about failing, how can you reduce the chances of you failing? Learn about basic tax laws. Learn about the different frameworks of company structures. Understand and learn the basic fundamentals of small business. And there's plenty of books out there that can help you to develop the skill set to be able to launch into your own business, which would then in turn reduce the risk factor and put you more projected into success. And I've talked about it, perceived, where we live in other people's experience. Somebody else started a business and it failed and sent them into bankruptcy, and their family house had to be sold, whatever the scenario you want to make up. So we don't do something. But when we actually then delve deep and we look into it and we go, well, he never actually educated himself on small business and what his requirements were, what legal stuff he had to worry about. Did he set his business up properly, or did he just rush to market? All those sorts of things. But I think the other thing is, some people get hung up on not going to market to get it 100% tuned right. And I think that's also a stall factor that we do in general. I'll wrap it up at that. I'll continue on this one tomorrow. Have a fantastic day, and you'll see me tomorrow 9 a.m. Thanks for coming. Bye.